Great. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this talk about your University of Nottingham academic offer. It's a very warm, sunny afternoon in Nottingham, which is where we are very excited to welcome you to in the next few months. Thank you for joining from wherever you are today. I know some of you are digital pathway students and some of you are studying at the college. So thank you very much for your time. This presentation, I think, will take around 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and then there'll be a chance to ask any questions at the end. And thank you, PJ, in advance for helping to answer them in the chat as well. Just a few housekeeping rules on this presentation. So please keep your microphones switched off so that we can't hear that, because it can come through. It might be distracting to other viewers. And please just leave the presentation alone. So I think you might be able to skip through the slides on your own, but please don't take control of the presentation so that I can just make sure that we get through the slides in the correct order. But yeah, so we'll kick off the presentation now. And then, like I said, at the end, any questions, either post them in the chat as I'm speaking, or just put your hand up at the end of the session and we'll get to your questions. But a very warm welcome. I am Simon Pond. I am part of the university's Pathway Partnerships team. We're based in international student recruitment at the university. And our role at the university is essentially to make sure that you, as Kaplan students, have absolutely everything you need to be able to progress to the university in September. So at the moment, the team, Pathway Partnership team, is myself and my colleague Ben. I think Ben might be able to join later in the call to help answer any questions. But when you email the Pathway Partnerships team, if you have done already, this is who you are emailing. And like I mentioned, our main priority is you making sure that you've got everything you need to be able to progress to the university beforehand and during enrolment as well. Obviously, a lot of you will be very familiar with the university already. You will have done a lot of research into the university when you were making your applications to Kaplan. And we've also spoken to you as part of your welcome sessions, those of you who have recognised my face and my voice from before. I won't go through these statistics one by one, but really they're on the screen just to make sure that you're aware of the real quality of the university that you've chosen and that you're coming to. In terms of the employability opportunities that you're going to get as a student, the research intensive influence that your teaching will have, which is a really valued part of what we do at the university, and really just the sort of the status of the university as from a global perspective, domestically in the UK as well. It really is a quality education that you're going to receive, and we're really, really excited to have you join us and benefit from that. When you do join us this September, you will be part of our global and quite enormous community of current students and alumni. We're really, really pleased to have so many international students on campus each year. And they represent, our staff and students at the university represent around 150 different countries. So it's a really diverse student community and staff community that we have in Nottingham. And I think this global alumni community is always growing. It might be a bigger number than this now, but it's quite common that if you want to find a Nottingham graduate anywhere in the world, I'm sure you will. And whilst you're at the university, you'll meet them on your course, but also through the various societies, sports clubs, faith and support facilities that we have at the university and that you'll benefit from when you join us. So this next few slides are going to be about your offer, your academic offer to study at the university. So as Kaplan students, you have quite a unique process to come to the university because you are with Kaplan and they are a very valued partner. We have that process in place. A lot of the offer making and the application side is hopefully automated from your perspective, But the academic offer is what we will put on the system and is what you will start to receive emails about, and you will see in your Nottingham Hub account quite soon, if you haven't already. So an academic offer is essentially what the university uses to give you a place on your chosen course. You'll get this via email and via your Nottingham Hub account. It's our way of saying that we really want you to join the university, so we try and make sure that that is provided to you in good time and that everything is clear in terms of what you have to do in your next steps. Your offer needs to be accepted via Nottingham Hub. Once your offer has been issued, you'll have 6 weeks to accept it from that time. However, if you feel like you're not going to be able to accept it within that 6 weeks for whatever reason, just let us know. Your offer certainly won't disappear, and we'll just make sure that you are all set up to be able to accept it when you're able to. Some people in the call might not have had their offer yet. Don't worry at all. That's for various reasons. It might be that your course has an extra stage before an offer can be made. It might be that your data is just about to be or hasn't yet been uploaded by our admissions team. So if you are in that situation, then please don't worry. You should see it soon. And a key thing to note about your offer is that they can be conditional or unconditional. So conditional offers are issued to everyone as standard, and those conditions are generally that you have to complete your course at Kaplan with the required grades met, and that will be on your Kaplan offer letter, but we can also confirm that if anyone needs to have that confirmed now. Once your conditions have been met with your offer, then your offer will turn unconditional, and that will happen when the university receives your results. So receiving and accessing your offer and creating your password. When you have been made a conditional offer from the university, you should see an email that looks something like this. It will be an email from myapplication@nottingham.ac.uk. On the screen, you'll see sort of a Nottingham University ID number, an application number, and the course that you've applied for, and then some instructions below on your next steps. So, but this is sort of a screenshot. It's an example data in here, but this is a screenshot of what you'll receive. The main things that you'll need to do is to follow the hyperlinks in the email. So either click on the hyperlinked word here, or if that doesn't work, then you'll need to copy this longer blue hyperlink and paste it into your browser. But this is hopefully what some of you will recognize already, and if not, something you should see in your inbox very soon. That's just a note. So when if the hyperlink in your email doesn't work, which can happen for various reasons, don't worry, try and paste that longer hyperlink into the browser, and make sure to leave no space at the end, so that you're able to access the correct page. If for whatever reason it doesn't happen that often, you have issues with that, then just let us know and we will help you out directly. This will take you through to a page that will set up your Nottingham Hub account. And a key part of that is how to set your password. I'm sure many of you will have set security questions and passwords for a lot of the accounts that you have online. This is no different, and it's just a standard process to make sure that you have everything set up and that is protected, your information. When you set up your password, you'll need to use your Nottingham ID provided in your email, and that is a number that begins with 20. So again, this is an example, not ID, application number and course, but it'll be your 20 number that you need to use. And then that will prompt you to create a password and set your security questions. The one bit of advice we give you here is just to make sure it's something you remember, note it down somewhere safe, and then you'll be able to log on and access your offer. When you click through to setting your password, you'll come to a screen that looks like this. The user ID, this is where you add that in. You'll create your password, confirm it, and then set 3 security questions. Again, once you've set them, you've controlled them, so you'll be the only one who knows them. Again, just make sure that that's something that you're going to remember. They look something like this. There's some pre-populated questions that are on the screen here. Again, just note them down somewhere safe so that you remember them in future. Once you've set up your account and that's been approved, then you should be able to access Nottingham Hub itself. So you will need to log into, type into your browser this web link at the top of the page, campus.nottingham.ac.uk, and that will bring you to the Nottingham Hub homepage, which looks like this on the screen. Again, once you've set your password, then all you need to do is add your username into the box, which is your University of Nottingham ID. That's your 20 number. And then enter in the password that you have just created and press sign in. If you have any issues, there is a web link just underneath the sign in button that you can click, and that will help you to reset your password if you need to. Once you've logged in, this is what your Nottingham Hub screen will look like. The top image, so these are two screenshots. The top image is the home screen, and that's what you should see when you've logged in. It will be a number of different tabs on the page. To accept your offer, the tab that you need to select is called Track My Application. Once you click into this, then it should show the second screenshot, which is just underneath it. And that's where you'll be taken to your offer. And you'll need to check the information and make sure that everything's in place for you to accept it. And then you can obviously accept it if you're happy with everything that's there. But the advice that we give you once you've got to this stage is review everything's correct, make sure that your name's correct, the course you've applied for is correct, and all the other details are as well. Remember that your offer will be conditional to start with, and they'll be unconditional when the university receives your results. So once you've been made your conditional offer, you can accept that offer at any time. And then once you've finished your studies and you've completed your exams and you have your results, then the team at Kaplan, whether that's Digital Pathways team or the college team, will send your results directly to the university, to our admissions team. So you don't need to do any of that side of things. That's all managed for you. And if you've completed your course successfully, then your offer should be made unconditional as long as you've got no other outstanding conditions. If you've got this far in the stage so far and you don't yet have an offer, you find your offer status will say information escalated. So don't worry if this is the case. This either means that it's coming, it's in process, it's on its way, or it might mean that your application requires additional stages. So you should be aware of what those are. It might be an interview, it might be a portfolio, but if you don't have an offer yet, don't worry. It should be with you. If you don't have an interview or portfolio, it should be with you in the next couple of weeks. But we are aware that not everyone's is on the system yet, so don't worry if you don't recognise this screen. But the important things to remember about your offer is that because you are a Kaplan student, you don't need to make your own application. So if you're an undergraduate student, you don't need to go through UCAS, or if you're a postgraduate student, you don't need to apply directly via the university website. You only need to accept your offer once. And once you've accepted your offer, you should get a confirmation email and letter in your portal that says that you've accepted your offer. And accepting your offer allows your application to move forward and unlocks a few other steps that you'll need to complete before you join us in September. In your portal, if you have any deposits on your checklist, these will be removed. So as a Kaplan student, you shouldn't have any deposits. Sometimes quirks in the system mean that they can show. So if this is the case, just let us know and we'll make sure to have them removed from your portal, from your application. And just a reminder, if you don't have your offer, don't worry. We are processing them all the time, so you should see it soon. Once you have received that offer, you have 6 weeks to be able to accept your offer. However, again, don't worry too much if you pass that 6-week period. Just let us know if you can, and we can make sure that the admissions team are aware so that you don't get any chasing emails or anything like that. But the offer certainly won't disappear. So yes, don't worry too much there. And final reminder on the conditional offer becoming unconditional when the university receives your grades. So the reason that we repeat this information throughout is because it is important. These are the sort of frequently asked questions that we get, and we just want to make sure that you're all comfortable that this is the process and that everything's as it should be. So these, again, are just some more of our frequently asked questions that we've had in the last sort of year or so. Some of you might have logged into your Nottingham Hub and seen that your offer reads as under consideration. This just means that it's still being processed in the system and should be with you shortly. You might have certain things in your deposit or task list with an upcoming deadline. This is, again, a lot of the time just a quirk in the system and should be resolved shortly. You might have an email with no information about an ID number or the course you applied to. This is an error that we're aware of. It's a system error, and it seems to do it relatively randomly. So it's not that anyone's been singled out. It's just that it's an error in the system. So if that is the case for any of you, feel free to let us know, but also note that it should be resolved soon if that's the case. Once you check your offer, again, once you've got to the screenshot that we showed you a couple of slides ago, make sure to check all the information. Sometimes the course you've been given an offer to might be incorrect, or perhaps you've asked to change it and that's not yet been reflected. If that's the case, please contact your college services team, and they'll be able to update our team. We can speak to our admissions and just get that resolved. But the first point of contact will be your college services team, who have all of the information they need and that will support you in getting that updated. You'll also see in your checklist in Nottingham Hub that you're required to submit a personal statement by a certain date. So you will be required to submit a personal statement, but it might have a deadline in your account that isn't relevant. So please don't worry, nothing will happen to your application if you don't submit a personal statement by the deadline that might be shown. The college team and the Digital Pathways team should, I think, do throughout the year, but we'll work with you on a personal statement in terms of the structure, what you might want to include. This is a requirement to make sure that your CAS is released ultimately once your offer goes unconditional, but it might have a deadline in your account at the moment that isn't relevant. If you do have any questions, ask your college services team and they'll be able to clarify. So one of the key reasons at this stage in the year particularly to accept your offer is that it will enable you to book your university accommodation. So the university accommodation team will have a session with you next week to provide a lot more information about the different options for living in university halls and private providers across Nottingham. So this will only be a very quick overview, but they will be able to talk to you next week. But the main point being, without having accepted your offer, you won't be able to book accommodation. So it is really important. There's a lot of different options at the university for accommodation, whether you're an undergraduate or postgraduate student. There's catered halls and self-catered sites on and nearby to campuses in Nottingham. And there's lots of different halls and lots of different room types. So this is a bit of a, well, it's a graphic, but it's a bit of an aerial graphic of the university campuses. If you're already onto your accommodation research already, you'll be familiar with some of the names. But this is just a bit of an overview to lead into next week's session with the accommodation team, who will take you through in a lot more detail the different options that you have and the prices and next steps, all the support that you're going to need. So yeah, look out for that invite if you haven't already got it. And equally as important is your visa. So your offer and your visa. As some of you who have already studied in the UK will be aware, to get your visa, you will need the university to provide you with a CAS, so a confirmation of acceptance for studies. The university issues your CAS to students once you've met the progression requirements, so once you've met all the conditions to progress to your course, and once you've accepted your offer. So they're the two prerequisites for the university being able to release your CAS. When it comes to this stage, you'll get an email from the Visa and Immigration team, and it will ask you to check the details on your student record and on the CAS. This will just be to check, similar to your offer, check your name, your date of birth, the course you applied for, and all similar details. You'll be given a deadline to check that information, and then the university will confirm that and submit that CAS to you. Really important that you do check that information, because once the university has produced that for you, it's quite difficult to change. So it's just worth checking, double checking ahead of time. But then once your CAS number has been issued, you'll be able to use this in your visa application. So the really important thing being, you need to have met your conditions and accepted your offer, and then your CAS will be issued, and that's what you'll need to make your visa application. So again, just to reiterate that typical timeline, once that's happened, you can expect your CAS communications to begin. For those of you who are finishing got your final exams in April or May, that will be shortly after your offer's been made unconditional. Some of you will be finishing in August, which is obviously closer to your course start date at the university, and you'll get your CAS communications then. We will also have our Visa and Immigration team talk to you directly about a lot more of the information in detail. We're unable to answer any Visa and Immigration related queries, so if you do have any today, we will redirect you to the Visa and Immigration team, and we'll just ask you to wait for that call in a few weeks. They will tell you everything that you need to know about that, but this is just a bit of a heads up as to what's coming. And then finally from me is scholarships. So we are really pleased to have some joint scholarships between the university and Kaplan. These are high award scholarships, and they're designed to really attract and retain the highest quality students from Kaplan. So these are bespoke awards for you group, your cohort, and they are for UoN, as in the International College, and Digital Pathway students combined. So the undergraduate award is awarded to the top foundation and IYO students. There are 12 awards with a value of £5,000 each in the form of a tuition fee reduction for your first year of studies. And at postgraduate level for pre-masters, it's awarded to the top pre-masters students. There are 8 of these awards with a value of £3,000 each. So the main criteria for these scholarships is that students need to achieve a minimum of 70% from your academic grades. So that's a 70 GPA overall, or 100% attendance at all of your classes to be considered. So you need to be an international fee-paying student, and the process is that you will come recommended by Kaplan. So again, that is for UoN and Digital Pathway students, and you'll be selected and notified if you've been successful at that at a later stage. You don't need to apply for these scholarships. You'll be automatically eligible if you meet that criteria. There are some other specific scholarships available for students, including the sports scholarship. And if you have any questions about that, please let us know. It's on our website if you want to Google it, or if you want us to send you a link, yeah, then we can do that afterwards. But for now, that is everything that we wanted to speak to you about. So thank you very much for your attention and for joining today. Our email, which I think Ben has shared in the chat as well, is on the screen here. That, as we mentioned at the start, will come through to me and Ben. Sponsorship-assistant@nottingham.ac.uk. I think there's some questions in the chat here, so I'll stop the recording now and take those. We're available for the next sort of 20 minutes or so, so we're more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
Sorry,